Oh, howdy there, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Robert, and welcome back. So if you want to skip me talking and blabbing, go right ahead. Here's where you can jump to. So what are we doing? Well, we have 5 easy, and I say easy, shred licks. These aren't like beginner guitar licks. The concepts of these are pretty, straightforward and easy. And definitely, by no means as complicated as many licks that are out there. We're gonna go ahead and jump on into this one. Now, if you would like lesson packs and stuff, I have on all kinds of topics like building speed. Lesson packs are down below. There's 20% off right now. You can snag that and get tabs from my website for this lesson. So other than that, let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so lick number 1. What are we going to do? We're going to steal a couple, actually quite a few of these are inspired by Eddie Van Halen. And he was actually, to me, he's the master of, you hear these licks and you're like, well, oh my god, I'll never be able to play those. And then you learn them and you're like, oh wow, it's really not that difficult what he's doing. He's just so creative in the way that he makes them just sound amazing. So this lick you can hear in, songs like I'm the One, the jump solo. And he just takes a single shape and he moves it across the strings like this. So what am I doing here exactly? Well, this one is something you'd want to use out of the key of A. I'll explain that here in a second, how Eddie kind of, I guess, like makes the guitar kind of bend to his will versus just following, the basic outline of the scales. So what am I doing here? Well, I'm simply going 4, hammer on 5, hammer on 7 on the low E string. Then I go to the A string, I do the same thing. The D is the same thing. So now I'm adding a lot of palm muting from my right hand. Now picking is not really so crucial in this one because a lot of it's legato, so you can kind of pick however you want. It seems like I'm doing a lot of up picks, so I'm going. Now all you do is you kind of backtrack and go back 1 string and do another set of 3. So I go to the A string 4 5 7, the D 4 5 7, the G 4 5 7. So now I start on the D 4 5 7, G, B. Then I go back to the G, B, height. Now here's where it's kind of crucial because you don't want to end on that B note. You kind of go back and you go to the 5th fret on the high string. And notice how it resolves it really nicely. So if you're kind of jamming over something. Whatever the riff might be, you could really throw that in there and it sounds really, really cool. Alright, time for lick number 2. Now this is a tapping lick. It's another, Eddie Van Halen style lick here. And this one I always think just looks cool. And I remember hearing it. It's in Spanish Fly. This is like a version of it, not note for note. So what am I doing here exactly? Well, it's kind of like this A Dorian shape is what it really looks like to me. Not quite. It's kind of like mixing A Dorian with A Ionian. So I'm tapping 12 on the A string and I go pull off to 5 and I hammer on back to 9. Okay? You can do it once, twice, however many times. And I move down and I literally take that shape and move it across all 5 strings. So I go. So there we have it. That's basically what this hand is doing. So like I said, it's kind of like a mixture of this like Dorian, Ionian hybrid scale. Another, just Eddie was so creative with taking these single shapes and moving them across the strings. He was just really the man. Alright, so example number 3. What's it gonna be? So this is a pretty simple pull-off. Like I always like to do it. It's kind of you know, this one I feel is way better unaccompanied. It's just like if you're doing like a solo piece with nothing really behind it to dictate the key. It's just this one, so it's actually just an arpeggio. So that's just an E major chord. I'm just going from that B note to the G sharp to an open, which would be an E major. So you do that, and I like to add a lot of palm mute. You just kind of have that one riding out. Now all I'm going to do is literally take this shape and move it across strings. You're probably noticing a theme here. The theme is one shape, move it across the strings, but yet it still works and sounds really creative. Now they're not all going to be like this, but these first three are. I move to the B, then G, then D, A, and load. Now you could pick if you want more definition. And you can flip around the other way. Now, when you ascend it to me, it has that very like Nuno Betancourt-esque sound. When you do this really palm muted, like hammer on with those open strings, it sounds so cool. You know, Nuno is just the man. So example number 4, better shut the door. What we are gonna do here is crazy. No, I'm just joking. We're just gonna simply take a very, very easy, kind of like common diminished shape. And what we're doing is this, we're just gonna go. Now I know this one does kind of have some more advanced techniques in it. It has string skipping in it, but if you're really familiar with your pentatonic scale and kind of already like getting into the world of shred, this isn't really that bad for you. So I'm gonna be going like this. I'm gonna go 8, pull off 5 on the high string. Oh, whoa, don't do that. 8, pull off 5. Now I'm gonna skip the B and go straight to the G. I'm gonna go 8, pull off 5, hammer back onto that 8, and back to 5 on the high string. And that's literally our lick. Now to kind of keep going with our theme of keeping the shape the same, we don't really get to move it across the strings the same way, but we can still do this. Simply by moving up 3 frets, the shape stays the same. Now, a little trick that I do for moving around these like diminished shapes is when I'm moving up, basically you have this first one. Now, what I visualize anyways is my index finger will simply just move to where my pinky is. Then I continue on, and when I'm descending, my pinky moves to where my index finger is. So I'm going to move up the next one, which would just be 11 and 8. Next one. Alright, so we're going to finish this with another diminished lick because, you know, like I said, staying with the theme of keeping shapes the same, this is a really cool way to move around. So we're going to be doing this octave shape with our diminished scale. I'm always talking about octaves on here because I think they're so useful and just so powerful of a tool for a guitar player. So I'm going to be going like this. I'm going to go 5, and I'm going to go from a 5 on the low string, I should say. And I'm going to go 3, hammer on to 6. If you want to pick it all, I pick down, down, up, or you could go down, down, hammer on. Then you're going to shift up an octave, so you're going to go to 7 on the D, and then 5, 8 on the G. Another octave, which is going to go, helps if I know my octave, which is just going to be 10 on the B, and then 8 to 11 on the high. Okay, so now let's reference what we just did in the previous one. So what did we just do? We simply took our diminished scale and moved it up 3 frets. So if you wanted to really continue this and make it sound really cool, you could just do the first one. Move up 3 frets. And then descend in octaves. It has a really, really cool sound to it. Okay? And there you have it. Now when I descend it, let's do that one real quick. So I'm going, was this 14 to 11 on the height, and then 13 on the B. Now if you're picking it all, I'm gonna go down, up, up. Little mini sweep. Now this one is 11 to 8, and then 10 on the G, or 10 on the D. Then shift it down one more time, which is gonna be 9 on the A, to 6 on the A, and then 8 on the low E. Alrighty guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, you can snag lesson packs and all that from my website and get the tabs for this here lesson. And I'm going to go ahead and hop on out of here, and I'll be seeing you guys on Wednesday. And you guessed it, another video. Another 3, count them, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, videos. And a subscribe button. If you subscribe, you'll know when these videos go up. That's all I'm saying.